how arbitrary the term white
I didn't know
is
that.
in the ways in which it's applied to people.
I always think it's silly that on the census it's, you know, black,
Wait,
white,
but she's the least white. I mean,
Asian. The categories are so limited.
Well, you know what,
and so
bro,
when I'm
bro,
doing the census, I just
bro,
put
you know-
white
you know what I'm
because I
saying,
look
though?
like I'm white.
It just
Bro,
goes
but
to
you know what I'm
show
saying,
you that
though?
no matter
No?
what somebody...
what is this?
I am somebody.
He does everything to get us to college.
All that I care about.
We brought together 6 biracial people.
I'm biracial.
I am biracial.
I'm biracial.
I'm biracial.
I'm biracial.
I'm biracial.
One of them is white. If the group discovers who the liar is, they'll split a cash prize. If the liar survives, they win the entire prize. Who is the odd one out?
So should we start with what do you mix with?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what's your ethnic
Yeah.
background?
Basically, my mom is Indian and then my dad is white, so I'm Windian. Yeah. I'm half Taiwanese, half white.
That's cool. I'm half Korean, half white.
Okay. I'm a fourth black, and then my mom's white.
I'm half black and half French, but white.
I was kind of suspicious of Daria and Ella.
What?
The hair, I felt like it was kind of a distraction, like as a ploy.
I'm half Native American and half Mexican.
How did your guys' parents meet?
My parents met at a movie theater. My mom was working there and my dad like came in and he just had a crush on her, so he'd always keep coming back and just watching movies. So.
It's really wholesome.
Half French.
My dad was a tennis coach at University of Central Missouri, and my
So when you're French, are you so half French means, because she says half French and says I'm half white. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that you can't be black and French? I mean, again,
was an
listen,
international
I'm just going with the video's
so
prompts. I didn't say anything.
International student.
I didn't say anything. It's the video, man.
Oh, you mentioned international students, so I thought she was targeting me. So I thought, okay, maybe she's the mole.
My parents met in grad school. They both went to Georgia Tech. My dad's from Georgia, but my mom immigrated from France to go to grad school in the US. So they just met each other in like the engineering department.
No, I just think sometimes I think when watching these videos, sometimes we can kind of get lost because sometimes they talk about looks and sometimes they talk about like genetics or like ancestral, like how do you call that, a DNA test or whatnot, which is kind of confusing.
My
sometimes.
parents met at a barbecue. My dad was in the military, so he was in Osan Air Base in South Korea. And my mom was at that barbecue because she lived near Osan. She would tell me about it. She was like, yeah, I thought Americans were really weird because your dad showed up in shorts and flip-flops
what
and
did
a
I do?
button-up tee with like a Russian bear hat, and it was winter. And they're just like, and then you ended up marrying him. She's like, yeah.
My parents met in LA, which is like the mixing pot, so it makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
She had said that her parents had met in LA, but she didn't really elaborate on that. Everyone else had kind of gone into
What?
more detail about their parents, and I felt like that was a little strange.
My parents are both from Arizona. They met, I would say, at a bar, I think. So yeah, my mom is from like the Navajo Nation.
Bro, these eyebrows are like razor sharp down the
Okay,
middle.
I guess it's a question. So it's good.
I mean, Jesus, man. It kind of goes like bing bong, like fucking bang bang.
I
Show me
was
my
just noticing
eyebrows.
that she seemed nervous and she didn't have a lot of details.
On a most simplistic standpoint, Ella looked the whitest, even though obviously it's not truly about that.
Oh, okay. Thank you, man.
We have a three-way tie between Ella, Caitlin, and Daria. You guys are gonna have 30 seconds on the clock to just kind of prove your case.
So my hair, I have an afro normally, but it's all braided and I added in extensions just because it's easier, but I have 4B curls, which I would only know if I was mixed. I get that from my dad. Everything else is white because, I mean, my dad's half Belgian and half black, and then my mom's fully white, so I just unfortunately am Xerox paper and I don't even tan. But it's all in my hair, I promise.
My mom's from France. She's from a place called Rennes in Brittany. And then my dad grew up in Devereaux, Georgia. But I actually also grew up in Arizona because they moved there and had me and my younger brother, younger sister. My sister and I are kind of...
Guys, it's just unfortunately, okay, not in an offensive way, I think, in the concept of the game, right? So since she looks so white, she can't prove the other. I think that's what she meant.
Pale is what my brother actually looks like. He's black. So yeah, it's a weird liminal space to be in.
What I was going to say before is that my mom is from the Navajo Nation Reservation, and my dad is Mexican. He
That was loud.
just grew up in Arizona, so, you know, I have equal, like, balance.
Oh yeah, she's
both,
done. They're gonna vote her out. Yeah, I mean, of course
She started, you know, kind of giggling or laughing in her story, and I thought, there's something suspicious here.
Oh wow, interesting.
All right, good luck, guys.
It's nice talking to you.
Talking to you.
The fact that I'm pale, I thought, you know, might have gotten me voted out.
Raise your hand if you think the mole is still in the box and you'd wish to continue the game.
I had a question because you said that you're growing up Quappa, because you're a quarter, right?
Oh, that's what it's called?
Oh, yeah.
That's good to know. It's on my backpack.
I have a friend that's Quappa, but
Yeah.
I guess like what was that like for you as far as I know as like a biracial person? It's like you feel like an imposter in your own culture sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm the lightest of me and my siblings. I have a younger sister who's like the color of Rihanna, and then my brother is super tan. And so then there's me, white girl with a giant afro, and people are always like, how is your hair so frizzy? I'm like, well, it's curly, it's an afro. You know, explaining to people like who I am. It was hard at times, but then I also was really proud that I got to say like, oh, I'm part black. Like that's why I have this cool hair. But it took me a while to really love who I am.
Have the rest of you guys felt like that before too, or?
One thing I felt is like, I've actually been to India like multiple times, and
Yeah.
whenever I
Guys, if you do DNA tests, right? Because I think this is what we're talking about, like the genetics of it, right? The percentage or whatever. Would it say like, oh man, you're 20% black? Is that what it said? Or it would say like something else, or like a place or something? Is that what it would say?
go, I'm like the lightest
It'd be more specific, right?
one there, so I just don't feel Indian at all, really.
He said that he had been to India and he just kind of threw that out there. And that felt really quick and just like but there wasn't any detail to the story.
Yeah, for me, being from Colorado, my experience has always been too Asian to be white here in Colorado, but here at UCLA, where I'm at right now, where it's a lot more diverse, I'm feeling like sometimes
This is already the only
too
one.
white to be Asian. So no matter
But-
what, I always feel exclusion from one side, and I think that's one of the struggles or like one of the experiences of being biracial.
I don't know. I think when I was younger, I was a little more ambiguous looking. Like people would kind of joke I was like a chameleon growing up because I didn't look the same every couple of years. But it was like I would always get like made fun of a lot by like other Korean students who
What?
would say like there's like slurs for.
Yeah, guys, I'm trying to learn because I feel like sometimes there's a lot of definitions, a lot of things that people say, whatever, right? I never did the ancestry test, whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, when I look at myself, I mean, I'm full white. But if I did a test or whatever, right? I could be something, and so he says, "Bro, you're white," and say, "Well, actually, I'm not, motherfucker." I don't know how that works. I don't know how that
Like
works.
biracial people, and so it was always like, oh, people like you just shouldn't exist and stuff like that.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Still here.
I grew up in predominantly white neighborhoods my whole life.
Yeah, I'm Hungarian descent or something. Yeah.
And I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Navajo.
And these
a
eyebrows, I can't get my eyes off of it.
I don't
My brother.
speak Spanish. I don't speak Navajo. I never had a quinceañera, so not really like 100% in like each culture.
Yeah. For me, growing up mostly with my mom's family, who's majority white, and then my dad's family lives farther away. So soul food and all that stuff I kind of missed out on, and I got to kind of explore later in life, but that's something that I always wish I had.
I'm glad we all got to talk.
Yeah, that was a good discussion.
Oh my god, my ears out. I'm making fun of my people's eyebrows. I'm reporting. No, I'm making fun of everybody's eyebrows. I think when girls like they draw the eyebrows on and they make like shapes or something like that, it kind of looks like a.
His like story was not as consistent. There were some things that had some detail, and then
It's
some other
troll.
things that were
It's
a
troll.
lot less detailed.
Oh, sorry. I mean, my man stayed signed the entire
Sucks
game.
to lose, but it's all good.
Raise your hand if you think the mole is still in the box and you would like to continue the game.
When the group eliminated Devin, I think we found them all. I think we're good now.
If the light turns green, that means you have voted the mole out.
Nah, they
and you all
lost.
win. However, if the lights turn red, That means the mole is still in the box and you lose.
It's racing.
Oh man.
Gas money for everybody.
Yeah.
Will the mole please reveal themselves in 3, 2, 1.
I'm Lebanese, Arab, Middle Eastern, which is technically white in the US. People from North Africa, so like Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, etc., and people from the Middle East are considered white on the US Census. So it really goes to show how arbitrary the term white is in the ways in which it's applied to people.
I always think it's silly that on the census it's, you know, black, white.
Wait, but she's the least white. I mean,
Asian. The categories are so limited.
Well, you know what,
and so when I'm doing the census, I just put
you know,
white.
dude, you know what I'm saying though?
Like I'm white. It just
Bro,
goes
but
to
you know what I'm
show
saying
you that
though?
no matter
No?
what somebody looks like you could be biracial. Like your hair, I would have thought, okay, I could believe that you're mixed because you have the curly hair, but you never know.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I mean that Caucasian. Dude, I don't know what the worst if I can use, man. Dude, I need to get a beginner's guidebook of ethnicity and skin shades or some shit. I don't fucking know anymore, man. I don't know how you say anything. Give me a book or some shit. Book.